So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. So Biden went to the picket line in Michigan to show support with the United Auto Workers. Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. They were in Van Buren Township. The United Auto Worker president, Sean Fain, stood with him in support. And of course, Biden's got low polling numbers on economic issues and the looming threat of government shutdown. But he's looking to win this battleground state in Michigan one day before Trump comes to Michigan to make his own appeal. Trump's been pushing the United Auto Workers connection. He does have a lot of support in the lower ranks of the United Auto Workers, but not much support with the top brass. He's going to give a primetime speech tonight to an audience of current and former union members. So he's looking to pull in that vote pretty hard. And that's why we see Biden in Van Buren Township. He wore a UAW hat and spoke into the bullhorn to workers, saying that they saved the automobile industry. They definitely made some concessions during the great financial crisis in 2008, 2009. In 2007, they agreed to a starting pay for workers hired after 2007 that would be significantly lower for current employees. The new workers also got less generous health benefits, no defined benefit pensions or health care as retirees. So they did come through. That was 2007 when the big three were losing billions of dollars a year. And then 2 years later, in 2008, 2009, the big three nearly went out of business altogether. Of course, GM and Chrysler went into bankruptcy. The United Auto Workers agreed to not strike for 6 years. Older workers got buyouts, and the companies brought in younger and cheaper workers. In addition, they suspended the cost of living wage increases. So there were some significant concessions made by the United Auto Workers in the great financial crisis and slightly before. The United Auto Workers announced last week that they're expanding it to include parts distribution centers. That's going to hurt a lot more, I feel like, than the final product strikes that have been going on. Of course, General Motors and Stellantis are getting the brunt of these strikes that are happening right now. Ford has made some serious concessions, but the other two have not. I think that the parts distribution centers are going to be really important in UAW's leverage here with this strike, because these centers clearly help support current customers and get current customers to be angry. Previously United Auto Worker has been striking at finished product plants for the most part, and as a result, new automobiles were not making it out to the customers. I think that honestly works right into General Motors and Stellantis's program, because they do need to reduce output when people are not buying. So it was a cheap way to do a lot of layoffs, right? At least temporary ones. Biden, noted that the executives have received growth in the industry, and they have, and so as a result, the employees should as well. But ultimately, this is where the politics meet the road, and I have reiterated this multiple times when we're discussing the United Auto Workers strike. This comes from the Biden-Harris administration. They announced about 4 months ago that they were going to do new private and public sector investments for affordable electric vehicles. You can see that here. And they currently have a goal of having 50% of all new vehicle sales be electric by 2030. This poses a serious challenge to the United Auto Workers, and the United Auto Workers are not having it. What you're seeing, for example, electric vehicle drivetrains only have 20 moving parts compared to over 200 in conventional automobiles. What that means is that needs less workers, less United Auto Workers in the factories. In addition, these factories are often being built in outside of the Rust Belt, outside of the United Auto Workers' home grounds. They're being built in Austin and throughout the South, and the United Auto Workers do not have a good representation in these plants, in these EV plants. So they're at odds with the Biden administration, because the electric vehicles ultimately pose an existential threat to the union, and as a result, there is a significant concern among the union surrounding the electric vehicles. So I think this is interesting. The expansion of the parts distribution centers could be very critical. These uh, upsetting existing customers might prove disastrous, but again, these finished plants, these finished automotive plants that are on strike, I think only benefits General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis at this time. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.